The same, I trust, will not hold true of Clockwise. Well, it certainly shouldn't, because this was written by Michael Frayn, the author of such splendid stage comedies as Noise is Off, and it stars John Cleese, most recently seen as an English sheriff in the Western Silverado. Clockwise covers a day in the life of the principal of a comprehensive school, Mr. Cleese, of course, who has to travel to Norwich to make a speech at a headmaster's conference. On this, the most important day of his life, he is, as ever, obsessed by time. But, through a series of mishaps, he misses his train and is given a lift by one of his pupils, who can't even drive. For film 86, Ian Johnston joined them on the road.
Your body's fine. It's a matter.
He's constantly obsessed with time, and that's why the film's called Clockwise. He's actually had a problem with it his entire life, but he's managed to get on top of it until this, the most important day of his life, when he kind of reverts to type, a type that Michael Frayn and I both admit is very much in us, the sort of person who's always slightly late for meetings, which I've got better the last few years, but I know that kind of inability to calculate exactly how long the journey's going to take.
Hurry does reduce people to the state of panic where fast begins to operate. I mean, once you realize you're late for something, once you're behind time and you're working against time, you do get reduced to a subhuman condition where you start operating like a mad machine instead of like a rational human being. And there's always something attractive about the sight of, at any rate, somebody else doing that. Not so nice if you're in the position yourself.
Because this very scene that we are attempting to do now, Stimpson, an upright headmaster, is about to be collusive in a criminal act, isn't he?
Yes, he's about to steal a car, in fact, having just stolen the suit.
I knew it. From the moment she stuck her thumb up.
And the man in the grey suit against the tree, how does he come into the plot?
This is the man described in the script as a man peeing against a tree, and he observes me running back to the car in my underpants carrying the Porsche driver's suit, pursued by the original Porsche driver who's now wearing the monk's habit. So he thinks that he is watching an insane monk attacking a man who happens to be his underpants and fighting over the ownership of a Porsche while he's trying to pee quietly against a tree, and he gets a little confused and very alarmed by what she's observing. And he's also a wonderful actor called Michael Percival, who's not as well known as he should be.
And the businessman is played?
The businessman is played by Sid Livingston, who is very, very funny and absolutely right for it. I don't know if the camera can see it. That's Sid. Also very good at crosswords.
Give me that suit. 300 quid that suit cost me. You've torn it.
Did you write the film with John Cleese in mind?
No, I never write anything with any particular casting in mind. I just think about the characters. But as soon as I gave the script to Michael Codron, he immediately said, but this is surely John Cleese. And as soon as he said that, of course it was.
5:16, take one.
Action.
You've torn it. Monk. Monk. You've torn the sleeve off a 300 guinea suit. Car.
Excellent. This is the thing about filming, you see. It's nothing to do with acting at all. It's becoming sufficiently philosophical to deal with the fact that everyone, including God, is trying to make it as hard to do as is possible. Because you think you have this scene and you just have to turn to someone, you know, and do the line, and then they say, can you turn the other way? You know, and then try and cheat up a bit, and almost anything that you're asked to do finishes up being 3 times harder to do than it should be. And that's, but there's no point in complaining about it. I mean, quite serious, but also light-hearted. But that is what filming is, and there's no point in starting filming if you don't know that's what it is.
Can't you tell the difference between left and right? You said Norwich. That's Plymouth. You didn't want Norwich? Speech! Speech? What now? Wait! Stop!
They've asked me to do some damn silly things as I've stood here, but no one's ever asked me to make a speech before.
Come on, try this one then. Plymouth, this one. Speech? Speech? Please. Just give me the speech. Oh, please.
Did you not see Stimpson as perhaps being a little too like Basil Fawlty?
Yeah, I was quite worried about this because naturally I think everyone who gets typecast constrains against it because one does not like, you don't like to be put in a box. Nobody likes being put in a box, and that's what everybody does. But when I say everybody, to some extent it comes from the general public. I think it principally comes from Fleet Street, because I think that a lot of the people who particularly write about this business are just a little cliched in their thinking, and once they have a box that they've put you in, that's it. I mean, it took me something like 13 years to get rid of the Ministry of Funny Walks label, which kind of went out of fashion about 2 years ago, and I suppose I should be Basil Fawlty for another 6 or 7 years, no matter what I do. I did actually say to Chris Morahan, should I try to make this not like Basil? Should we work on it? And I spent a bit of time thinking, well, maybe I should wear glasses without, you know, sort of rimless glasses, and I thought, well, should I have the moustache or not? And in the end, I thought, well, you know, to hell with it. If people want to think it's Basil, that's fine.
I shouldn't have thought being Basil Fawlty was such a bad thing.